Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your Smackdown Live review for the date of November 14th, 2017. This show here tonight was live from Charlotte, North Carolina. And we are back here once again. This is your go-home show, SmackDown Live, towards the Survivor Series. And we had another show of yet another series of changes, or one big change for the Survivor Series. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a new Women's Champion, and Raw here tonight giving SmackDown a little bit of payback after what SmackDown did to Raw a couple weeks back, and they put SmackDown under siege here tonight. So Raw got the last laugh going into the Survivor Series as they did attack SmackDown Live here tonight, and Shane McMahon took a triple powerbomb from your boys, The Shield. So we're going to talk about everything that happened on SmackDown Live here tonight. Good show here tonight, I can tell you that much. And, you know, it's not very surprising that it's a good show because we do have a new WWE Champion. Yeah, we do. And it is the phenomenal AJ Styles. That's going to be a nice matchup with Brock Lesnar on Sunday. And you know where else you can find very, very nice things? That is right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because you can expect a lot of great content right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, especially this week. This is your first week watching the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. You walked into a good week, bro, because last week there was not that much content. It was kind of like the calm before the storm, you can say. It was kind of like the calm before the storm, and here we are in the middle of a storm, but this is one of those nice storms with the nice, relaxing weather, I guess you can say, right? This is a huge, huge week for the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel because it is Survivor Series week, and it is also an NXT TakeOver week, and not just any NXT TakeOver. It is an NXT TakeOver where we will be seeing War Games. So there's a lot to talk about this week when it's these big dual shows on Saturday and Sunday. There's always a lot of videos, and you can expect that. Thursday, there will be preview and predictions for the Survivor Series. We're going to be talking everything Survivor Series, the build to Survivor Series, the quality of SmackDown and Raw, since that is a dual-branded pay-per-view. Going into the Survivor Series, you have the matches, what I think is going to happen within those matches. The, of course, predictions for who is going to win those matches. We're going to be talking what I think the quality of those matches is going to be. So we're going to be talking it all about Survivor Series, and we're going to be doing the same the next day on Friday for NXT TakeOver War Games. We will be having preview and predictions for War Games up Friday afternoon, as well as Saturday, which is going to be a dual content upload, because on the morning or the afternoon, you're going to have Behind the Mic up, and you can expect that. It's probably going to be a big video talking all the news going into Survivor Series the next night. And of course, Saturday in the nighttime, we will be reviewing War Games, and then Sunday is the big day with the big 4-hour Survivor Series pay-per-view, where we will be discussing everything about Survivor Series, reviewing that after that show goes off the air. So that's just the lineup of content, and it's not just weeks like this. You've even got content coming. We usually do end of the year top 10s right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and we'll be doing top 10 matches of the year, top 10 superstars of the year, top 10 worst probably superstars of the year. So we're going to be doing a lot of top 10s. Going to have to float those ideas into my head, but it's going to be a lot of fun doing that coming up for the end of the year top 10s. The holidays are amongst us, ladies and gentlemen. So we must all rejoice in some fresh type of content, and that is, of course, coming with the top 10s later this year. But besides that, that's pretty much everything we have going on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And if that intrigues you, if what you're hearing right now from me intrigues you, there's one great way that you won't miss anything that I just told you, that you'll get all that great content along with this luscious voice, right? There's one way to do that, and that is to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. You'll get all this great content straight to your subscription box, notification bell. You'll get it straight to your mobile device. So that's even better than the subscription box, but make sure to do both. You can also go check out the Twitter account of the same name, where we live tweet with Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, and NXT TakeOver specials. So clearly we're going to be live tweeting a lot this week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It also notifies you through there when I upload a video. So there's a lot of ways to keep in track with what's going on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, so make sure to show your support. Go leave a follow on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe right here. Leave a like if you want. Show your support there. And, of course, make sure to comment what you thought about SmackDown Live here tonight in the comment section below. For now, we're going to go straight into what happens on the show here tonight. And we main evented with The New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And this was, to say the least, a very good matchup. It really, really was. It was a pretty good matchup between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and The New Day. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who clearly aren't going to be on the Survivor Series pay-per-view. And this ended when Woods, he ran to the ropes, leaped out onto Owens. Kofi started celebrating. Big E was waiting for Sami to get up, perhaps for a big ending, but the music of the Shield interrupts, right? And the fans pop. Sami is up with Big E as everyone looks for the Shield. Roman, Seth, and Dean finally appear in the crowd wearing Raw/Shield t-shirts. Sami and Owens stand tall with the New Day in the ring. The Shield surrounds the ring. Then they hit the apron. Owens and Sami suddenly drop down and roll out of the ring, so they're out of there. Shield, they attack the New Day, and the two teams start brawling. Usos hit the ring, and they face off with the Shield, but they get beaten down. I think Sheamus and Cesaro, I'm pretty sure, are in the ring at this point. New Day come back into the fight, but the Shield is still hanging on. Raw Tag Team Champions Sheamus and Cesaro, then they come out next, so there you go. They hit the ring, joining the big fight. We see the Raw Women's Division, their team captain Alicia Fox, Asuka, Sasha, Nia, and Bayley walking backstage. They enter the SmackDown Women's locker room and start brawling with Team SmackDown. They beat everyone down, and then in the middle they have Charlotte there, and Charlotte's just looking like, holy shit, these bitches are about to kill me. And then out of nowhere, nice way they shot this, you have Alexa Bliss coming and hit a big forearm. That was cool. We go back to the ring. Out comes Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. Apollo Crews Titus Worldwide. So you had that, right? And Titus O'Neil. They also came out. And a few other superstars. Shane McMahon, Baron Corbin, and other Blue Brand superstars run out to defend SmackDown. Shane knocks Balor off the apron. The Hype Bros are also out here. Ziggler is out there. Angle appears at the entrance, and the music hits. And out comes the monster among men, Braun Strowman. But why the fuck did Braun Strowman's music hit? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Isn't this an invasion? So you're telling me the SmackDown production people are playing Raw's music now? You gotta be kidding me with that one. But Braun, he starts beating the shit out of everybody. He drops down Shinsuke Nakamura, tosses him to the floor. Shane tries to go for Braun, but it does nothing. Braun turns around. Shane attacks him. Braun floors Shane in the middle of the ring. Braun goes to ringside, launches Ziggler into the barricade. Shield is left in the ring. with Shane. They taunt him and make him watch the SmackDown superstars being assaulted on the outside of the ring. The Shield, they then start beating down Shane. So, I mean, when Raw was or SmackDown was attacking Raw, they didn't go for Kurt Angle. Shane McMahon, they're just beating the shit out of him. So, there you go. They hold Shane while Sheamus decks him, forcing him to watch more of the carnage at ringside. Joe breaks the rest of Wood's trombone over the back of Big E. Angle enters the ring and smirks at Shane as the Shield holds him. Angle grabs Shane's face and asks him how it feels, and tells him to wait until Sunday if he thinks this is bad. Angle gives the Shield a thumbs up, and they lift Shane for the big Shield-style triple powerbomb in the middle of the ring. Braun enters the ring as Shane tries to recover. Angle grabs Shane and drops him with an Angle slam. Brock continues to look like he wants to destroy someone else. They lift Shane for another triple powerbomb by the Shield. Braun, the Shield, and the others leave as Angle leans over Shane for a few more words of trash talking. Angle follows the rest of Team Raw and poses with them on the stage as SmackDown stars are laid out at ringside. Some enter the ring and check on Shane. Team Raw stands tall on the ramp as SmackDown goes off the air. So there you go. SmackDown put Monday Night Raw, or Raw was put, if I can get this right here, Raw put SmackDown under siege. There you fucking go. Raw put SmackDown under siege here tonight, getting payback for what happened 3 weeks ago. This was expected. They even mentioned it at the beginning of the show that they were prepared for Monday Night Raw to come here tonight. I mean, guess you weren't prepared enough, because Raw came here tonight and beat the shit out of SmackDown Live. But to be quite honest with you, this was expected. Now it's just up to see what's going to go on in the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. And I ain't going to lie to you, Survivor Series is looking good, bro. And I can't help but say it's because the people who originally looked at Survivor Series, these creative bookers or Vince McMahon or whoever the hell, looked at this Survivor Series card and said, what the fuck is this? And then they looked at the card for War Games the night before and they said, shit, we don't even come close to competing with War Games. And it's true. So now this card resembles a pay-per-view, probably the best main card pay-per-view WWE has had in a long time, or probably in all of 2017. Still not better than War Games. Why? Because War Games doesn't have the better card. You look at Survivor Series, it's absolutely stacked with dream matches, right? And dream scenarios. You got Triple H in the same match as Shinsuke Nakamura, Kurt Angle in the same match as Bobby Roode. I mean, there's a lot of dream scenarios to be found there, right? Samoa Joe, Nakamura, a lot of combinations, Samoa Joe and John Cena. But you look at NXT TakeOver War Games and it just makes a lot more sense storyline-wise, and I don't think I can be denied of that. What we've seen as far as story between guys like the Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black, that's had an amazing story. And there's been a lot of points where the story at Survivor Series has fallen flat. I mean, my main argument against a lot of what we've seen, going back to the roots of this, is that all year you've had from Survivor Series last year to Survivor Series this year to build towards some conflicts between Raw and SmackDown, some verbal jabs, the commentators saying, you know what, you got this Raw pay-per-view, right? These SmackDown commentators, you got this Raw pay-per-view coming on blah, blah, blah. You got Hell in a Cell for SmackDown. Yeah, I know you want to subscribe to the WWE Network. You can get the Raw pay-per-view, No Mercy, let's say. You can get No Mercy, but the pay-per-view you really want to watch, the real pay-per-view with the real matches, is Hell in a Cell. So if you subscribe to the WWE Network now, not only will you get No Mercy, and sure, you'll want to watch No Mercy, but you'll get the real pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. There could be small jabs like that, thrown on commentary, right? And I mean, there's been none of that. There's been none of that. There's been no superstar saying, oh, I'm better than this champion, blah, blah, blah. There's been none of that throughout any of this. So, I mean, really, WWE has failed on that aspect, and where all this hatred came from is beyond me. But that's besides the point. When you look at this card, it's looking good compared to where we started. I mean, you look at WWE's old card, and all your champions were heels. It was ridiculous. It really, really was. Now, that's not the case. We've got AJ Styles as your WWE Champion opposed to Jinder Mahal, and we all know that that is a lot better, but that's just what is on my mind going into Survivor Series this Sunday. We'll discuss this in a lot further detail on the Survivor Series preview and predictions out on Thursday, which you should all be anticipating if you're watching this SmackDown Live review. But we go to the opening segments of this show, and we started off here with Shane McMahon giving the SmackDown Live roster a pep rally. It's funny. I find it funny. You go to Monday Night Raw, and you have Stephanie McMahon cutting down each and every single member of the Raw roster in the best way she possibly fucking can. She's just trying to think of the sharpest comments to bury each and every single talent on her roster. Meanwhile, you got a pep rally on SmackDown Live. You gotta be kidding me. Night and day, bro. Night and day. But Shane, he hypes the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and he needs everybody on the same page. He goes on and says they will be known as a dominant brand after Sunday. They will no longer be the B show. They will be the show. The roster pops. Shane tells Becky Lynch that Asuka is saying that she will break the entire Team SmackDown. Becky feels like the only thing Asuka is getting broken on Sunday is her arm. Shane addresses Sin Cara and the United States Champion Baron Corbin next, asking if someone is going to finally silence the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Corbin says The Miz has been running on borrowed time, and Sunday will be his end of days. Shane mentions Triple H replacing Jason Jordan on Team Raw, but no worries because he has assembled the greatest men's Survivor Series team in history. Shane says they went over the top when they announced John Cena as the final man on their team. By the way, John Cena was not on SmackDown Live here tonight. Don't know why. He really should have been here and had words to say, explanations to why he was on Team SmackDown, but none of that. None of that, right? But Shane goes on and says no one can stop them now, not Kurt Angle, not Stephanie McMahon, and certainly not the Shield. Kofi Kingston knocks the Shield and their challenge next. Xavier says they accepted, but do people know why? Big E gets this because SmackDown rocks. SmackDown rocks, and they do it in the tone of the New Day rock stuff, right? So there you go. And that is going across the locker room to end the segment. And then we go to the ring, right? We go to the ring, and Daniel Bryan is in the ring saying that he is glad to be back after, of course, getting chokeslammed by Kane on Monday Night Raw. And he's quite lucky to be back after being chokeslammed by Kane. Daniel said that seeing that Stephanie returns, he shouldn't have been too surprised at what happened to him. But the thing about SmackDown is they never stop fighting. And Raw is just embarrassed that with the 21st anniversary or the 25th anniversary of Raw coming up, SmackDown ransacked Raw, and at Survivor Series they will prove that they are not only the better show, but they have the better roster. Bryan introduced the new WWE Champion, AJ Styles, and that started huge AJ Styles chants through the arena. Before AJ spoke, Daniel told him that on SmackDown they treat their champions better than they do on Raw, saying that the Universal Champion has his own advocate. So he asked AJ if he wants his own advocate. That was funny. And AJ said yes to that. Daniel then went on to do the Paul Heyman intro, but for AJ Styles. So that was pretty cool, right? Saying that he agreed with all Heyman points last night, except for point F5, saying that Lesnar is big in every capacity. He's big, right? He's big. He's big and tall and strong, but he's thick-headed. And that's been shown because he's a quitter. Just like he quit WWE all those years ago. Just like he quit to a half-ass knee bar. Ooh. Jabs by Daniel Bryan. So yeah, Lesnar will be able to go 10 minutes. But after that, Brock Lesnar will be mentally broken down. So Paul Heyman can give you all these reasons. But Brock Lesnar will be mentally victimized, mentally conquered, and mentally beat by AJ Styles. AJ then took the mic saying that he's not a puppet like Lesnar, and he can speak. So they were just throwing jabs at Lesnar left and right. He said that fatigue makes quitters out of all of us. And he does agree with Paul Heyman that he's the underdog because he wouldn't have it any other way. But this is not a Rocky movie. This is an AJ Styles production. And he will beat Lesnar in the honor of SmackDown because this is the house that AJ Styles built. So there you go. So that was their address towards Brock Lesnar. Cool way to start SmackDown. Going into the Survivor Series, you hype the championship match. Not the championship match, the champion versus champion match. And you already got foreshadowing to what's going to happen in the main event with the Shane stuff, saying that they knew in that segment that Raw was going to attack, yet they still failed. That's the one thing I don't get. They knew that Raw was going to attack, and they were so prepared, but they still failed? What? Gotta be kidding me with that one, bro. But Baron Corbin versus Sin Cara. This match really was nothing special. I don't know why Sin Cara was fighting for this title to begin with, bro. This guy has been off television for months, and I think he has some sort of brand deal, some sneakers coming out, some Sin Cara sneakers, and now WWE wants to put him on television to promote this. I mean, really, you keep the guy off television for months, then you want to have him randomly appear? Who the hell is supposed to buy into that? Ty Dillinger was actually fighting alongside AJ Styles and Baron Corbin at the last SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view for that United States Championship. Why didn't you continue that Baron Corbin-Dillinger feud and made that a focus going into Survivor Series? And maybe you could have even had Dillinger take the title off Corbin. I'd much rather see Dillinger versus The Miz than Corbin versus The Miz. At least Ty Dillinger and The Miz looked like they could have chemistry in that ring. That's actually a feud I wanted to see around WrestleMania 33 when Dillinger was coming up. That would have been a great matchup for Dillinger to debut in and for Dillinger to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. But that is if WWE wanted to book this guy correctly. That was if WWE wanted to take this 10 gimmick that he got incredibly over in NXT and ride that momentum to the main roster. But what did they do? They kept him off television for months, and instead of making him the perfect 10, they made him the perfect dark match. And guess what he was doing on SmackDown Live here tonight? He was in a dark match before the show. How fitting, right? How fitting. Instead of having this guy fight for Intercontinental Championship, instead of having this guy fight for United States Championships, this is what you do with Ty Dillinger, bro. Absolutely disgusting. Anyways, we see nothing of importance here in this matchup. Pretty basic. Corbin won with the end of days. I mean, Sin Cara, Hunico is playing this guy. He doesn't even look athletic, bro. I mean, Sin Cara came in with all this hype, right? The actual Sin Cara, I heard, was a fucking pussy. And then Hunico, he's not that exciting to watch. He's really not. He just doesn't look like that athletic type of guy. So, I don't know. I just don't dig it, bro. There's a lot of much better talent on SmackDown Live. Sin Cara, you know what you should do with him? Put him with Kalisto, put him back in the tag team division. I mean, look at your Monday Night Raw's tag team division, and they can use the Lucha Dragons, because literally right now it is Sheamus and Cesaro on Monday Night Raw, and then Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And half the time Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are with Roman Reigns and some Shield shit. So, what a great tag team division you have on Monday Night Raw, eh? Gotta be kidding me with that one. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon were talking backstage, saying that this Sunday the most important thing that they need to stress is a cohesion, with Daniel saying that after Sunday he and Shane have to talk about cohesion themselves, with Daniel saying that he was never told about that raid on Raw a couple weeks back. So there you go with that one. Charlotte versus Natalya. This was actually a very, very good matchup here between Charlotte and Natalya. This was very well done. A lot better than what they did at Hell in a Cell. And that was boosted by the fact that Charlotte was in her hometown. And we actually saw a hometown title change here tonight. Damn, is that rare. Damn, is that rare, bro. But my God, you seen the reaction to Charlotte here tonight. It was amazing. It was amazing. It really, really was. And it makes me wonder why WWE hasn't used these hometown title changes more effectively. I mean, you always have these guys lose in their hometown. It's like some type of fucking joke at this point. Gotta be kidding me. And then you look at the ovation these men and women get when they're in their hometowns and they win titles like this. It's absolutely amazing, and it adds to the moment. Yeah, WWE wants to have it like some superstition that if you're in your hometown, you're losing the fucking match. It's ridiculous. And it's downright unnecessary, if you ask me. Anyways, that was not the case here tonight. There were some very cool spots here and false finishes, like Charlotte, who was going for the moonsault off the barricade on the outside, yet Natalya got her into powerbomb position and just rammed her into the LED ring post. Natalya locked in the sharpshooter for a good while, which had the crowd rolling, of course. They thought Charlotte was going to tap. Charlotte did make it out, and she followed that, sent Natalya to the outside. Big boot to Natty when she got back in. Locked in the figure eight, did Charlotte, and sooner rather than later, you had Natalya tapping out. After the match, Charlotte, she cut a heartfelt promo. It was like half heartfelt, half where she was like thanking the crowd, and she was very, very emotional. She's like, let me catch my breath because Natalya put me through hell. And then half you heard it scripted, and it was Robot Charlotte, I am your women's champion, stuff like that. So Charlotte's very robotic when she's speaking. She doesn't speak like that. I was listening to her podcast on Lillian Garcia's podcast. Love Lillian Garcia's podcast. Very positive platform over there. Not any negativity to be found on Lillian Garcia's platform. And yeah, you hear a lot of negativity here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. I don't like to come on negative. I love the positivity, and that's exactly what Lillian Garcia's podcast offers you. It offers you that dose of positivity. She was on Lillian Garcia's podcast. Charlotte sounds very genuine. She sounds very natural. And then on WWE television, she comes on and she's speaking like a robot. Absolutely scripted. That was not the case here tonight. I don't think this promo was as scripted. They let her go out there and say what she wanted. She said that this is what she's been building to her entire life. She's won titles all over the place. She's won a bunch of titles, but never in her hometown. And it's such an honor for her to be able to win the title in her hometown. And she addresses Alexa Bliss saying that, yeah, you might be a goddess on Raw right now, but before there was a goddess, there was definitely a queen, and she's going to topple Alexa Bliss. She says that she knows that she is going to have a text from her father who was sick, so they use that sympathy card. She knows, and her father's going to tell her that she's the GOAT, and she's proud of her, and sends her all the emojis, right? And as Charlotte walks down, and this was very heartfelt, this warmed my heart. I know a lot of people were tearing up at this one, where Ric Flair actually, his music hit, he came out, hugged Charlotte, he was bawling in tears, tears of joy, most likely, and he was proud of his daughter, and it was a very, very nice moment for Rick and Charlotte right there, especially after all they've gone through in these past couple months. That was very, very nice, and that was very well done by SmackDown Live, and it just shows how great it can be when you do these hometown title changes, bro. You got Sasha Banks last year in Boston, and it's Hell in a Cell, and it's this high-stake match, and the women are in the main event of a pay-per-view for the first time ever, and Sasha's the babyface in her hometown, and the Charlotte's this wily heel, and to keep a pay-per-view record that meant nothing, that hasn't been mentioned in God knows how long. To keep this pay-per-view record, you had Charlotte win because it was Sasha would win the title on Raw, lose it on the pay-per-view. And you had to keep that going. Sasha lost it at the pay-per-view once again, and you lost that home felt moment. And a lot of people were just like, what just happened, bro? My God. Stunning, and it made no goddamn sense to me. That was the reaction that night. And that Hell in a Cell matchup, a lot would argue, including me, that it shouldn't even have happened. It was very, very dangerous, and half the time, instead of saying, ooh, that was cool, you were like, damn, are they okay? But that is besides the point. Not to go on a rant about that Hell in a Cell again, because there's probably a review from a year ago or something that you can find on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. But we go to the Usos, and the Usos are just so great, especially on the microphone. The matchup they had was nothing too amazing, but on the microphone, the Usos said that last year at Survivor Series, it came down to two teams, the Usos versus the Bar, and this year, it comes down to two teams, the Uso versus the Bar. And if you remember what they did last year at the end of that 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag team match, which was absolutely crazy. You had 20 guys in one match. I kid you not. It was 10 on 10, but that's besides the point. The final teams were the Usos and the Bar, and it was a very, very good exchange between those two teams, and that's what I'm hoping to see at Survivor Series. It's going to be a very, very good match. Would it have been as good as what we would have seen between Rollins and Ambrose and the Usos? No, just because with Rollins and Ambrose and the Usos, you have that babyface heel dynamic that works so well, but that doesn't matter. Heel versus heel, I mean, they're probably going to do a damn good job anyways, but that's besides the point. Continuing with the promo, they say they are going to take Cesaro's mouth guard and super kick it out his mouth, and what they say about Sheamus is true. He does look stupid. Sure. So they say they're going to have Sheamus and Cesaro on lockdown, just like they have everything else on lockdown. They lock down the Ascension, Breezango, whatever other teams are on SmackDown Live that I can't think of right now. American Alpha 2.0, according to them. That's funny. And they are American Alpha 2.0. That's not even a lie. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin come on with this offended face every time they're called American Alpha 2.0. Like, what do you want us to refer you as? You want to come up with an official name instead of Benjamin and Gable? Anyways, we go to Jimmy Uso versus Chad Gable, and this was nothing too crazy. There was a series of distractions, a big commercial break plopped right in between. Series of distractions, Jimmy won after hitting a super kick on Chad Gable for the win. So this is probably going to be a tag team matchup, tag team rematch, since what we seen last week had an indecisive finish. This is probably going to be a rematch for after the Survivor Series, but I mean, Survivor Series is looking good. After this, you pretty much had a promo between Owens and Zayn where they were just complaining about not being on the Survivor Series and that all this, Shane McMahon is against them, and then they went out and had their matchup. New Day cut a promo before their matchup saying about Survivor Series and the Shield and how they're dogs and dogs eat their own poop. Something like that. Dogs eat their own poop, right? And why wouldn't you want to be a unicorn? So magical and mystical and mysterious. So there you go with that one. And then, of course, you had Owens, Zayn, and the New Day. And, of course, the invasion by Monday Night Raw. As far as which invasion was handled better, I'm going to tell you that the SmackDown invasion on Raw was a lot better because they went more into the backstage area. I liked how they went more into the backstage area, and they just absolutely decimated the locker rooms. And then on top of that, you had it come out of nowhere. You really didn't expect it. The Raw one, you just like, okay, this is happening here tonight. So, I mean, it's happening. We know that. But the SmackDown one just came so out of nowhere, and it was a lot better handled, especially after your 3-hour Monday Night Raw, where you're seeing nothing interesting. I mean, SmackDown just flows like you're there. So, I mean, it was a lot better handled the first time around, and that was expected because what we've seen here tonight, it was not a surprise. But that is pretty much your SmackDown Live review. Hope you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard here on your review for SmackDown Live here tonight. Like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure to go check out all the other content. Not too bad in addition to SmackDown Live here tonight. SmackDown Live is going to go from getting worse and worse each and every single week to getting better and better each and every single week with AJ Styles as your WWE Champion. The flow of this show is already better. Jinder Mahal is awful, bro. Anyways, besides that, make sure to go check out all the other content. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, NXT TakeOver reviews, NXT TakeOver preview and predictions, pay-per-view preview and predictions, behind the mic each and every single Saturday. All of that is going to be up this week, so you can expect that. Breaking news stories, top 10s coming at the end of the year. All that good stuff can be found right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any of that. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed what you heard here, and of course make sure to comment what you thought about SmackDown Live here tonight. Twitter account of the same name, make sure to go check that out, because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow if any news breaks, or if anything for sure on Thursday for your Survivor Series 2017 preview and predictions.